De La Riva sweeps and some options when the guy tries to kind of undo one of the lasso guard hooks. But to get into De La Riva guard, it gets a little bit difficult, especially when the guy doesn't lift his leg or you're in close guard. So one way you can kind of help get into the De La Riva guard is I start with my hooks, my grips first. So I'm going to start with my lapel sleeve grips here. I'm going to go ahead and shrimp out and slide my knee up and get into kind of like a shield position with my shin, keeping this in tight. And the side that I want to De La Riva is the side that I'm going to go for the push sweep. So I'm going to kind of extend backwards, and as I pull back, I'm pulling his arm, and I'm going to go to push and extend here. So one second. If I keep pushing and pulling and he doesn't do anything, I can use this shin to kind of roll him over for the sweep. And most likely the guy's not going to fall for that easy sweep, so he's going to start lifting that leg up because he can't base with this. So when he lifts that leg up, this is the time I can De La Riva, but you can tell that this foot is so far away that I can't really get this hook in. So what I'm going to do in this position is I'm going to pull his hand and relax my shin on his shoulder and make him kind of take a big step forward. So let me do it again. So we're here, I shove, and I'm going to make him take a big step forward. Sometimes they put the knee back on the floor, you got to restart again. So here, if the guy's foot's up, we're going to go into that De La Riva hook here. So I've got my hook in, nice and tight in this position. My left foot is going to be on his hip. And we're going to go ahead and start with both hands on the outside to keep everything simple. So we've got the De La Riva hook with both hands on the outside. Right? So once we get this position, we're going to go into the lasso guard. And when I go to the lasso guard, if the guy's so close to me, you may have a hard time bringing this over here, especially if you're not flexible, bringing your foot up towards your face. So what you can do from this position is you can shrimp away using your left foot on his hip or on the floor and just kind of shrimp outside. You don't want to shrimp too much because you'll lose your De La Riva hook, just enough to get some space to get your lasso in. Now if you want to close that space up again, another option that you can do is you can use the lasso guard, the foot on his armpit, and kind of pull him back up if you want to eat that space again. Anyway, we're here. I'm going to put this foot on the floor, and this is all came from that De La Riva seminar when he came and showed this. But I'm going to put this foot on the floor here and make sure that my fist is nice and tight to my thigh here. Okay? Because if my hand is too deep here and I go to put this on the floor, it's not going to affect his posture at all, and that lasso guard is a little bit ineffective. So I want to make sure that I pull this hand way up here and my fist is on my thigh. Now when I drop my foot to the floor, if you look at what happens to the shoulder, it's going to drop that shoulder to the ground and it's hard for him to posture. So I've got my left foot on the floor, my right De La Riva hook in, and now I'm going to shrimp my butt on top of the top of his foot. So I should use my left foot to shrimp. Now I'm sitting on his butt. And in this position, we're going to go ahead and re-De La Riva hook. So my left foot that I just used to shrimp is going to re-hook the bottom of my right Achilles. So I've got both feet hooked onto his leg there. So I've got the regular De La Riva and reverse De La Riva hook. From this position, I keep this hand kind of turned to the outside so he can't base. And I'm going to pull him up towards me, so my knees to my chest. And after I pull, we're going to go ahead and pinch my knees and dump him towards the right here. And as I dump, I'm already up onto my elbow. Okay, don't dump with your head flat on the floor, because at this point it's too hard to sit up. So I use that momentum to already establish this position, directly underneath my shoulder. So the hand that was the lasso guard hand, I let go, and I grab the lapel here. Bang. Okay. If you want, you can grab up higher or lower. The downfall of grabbing lower is I have a harder time pushing him flat to the floor. But if I can't sit up, I have an underhook. If I put the fist on his shoulder, I can use this to push him, but I won't have the underhook. But I'll show you something you can do from there. So, hand on his shoulder. I'm going to use my left foot on the floor and then pull like the kind of regular like stand-up position. So I pull my leg out here, and as I push, I lift. I'm going to drop over on top. Okay? So in this position, if I were to grab lower, I can just put this on the ground here and then get that underhook position. But because I was grabbing up higher, if I decide to just slide over, I'm going to give up the underhook. So I keep this here. I'm going to turn my body to the outside of his wrist and drop this hand over to the floor here. Okay? And my left hand is going to be tucking this way. So my elbow is tucking on this side of his armpit, and this is here. Okay? So what this does is this prevents him from rolling away from me. So if you try to roll away, this is going to block him. And it works because my elbow is here, okay? Not here. Elbow down, and this is going to prevent him from rolling towards me. Okay, so because his arm's in the way. So with these two, I can really kind of control the guy's motion in this position. Okay, we'll start from the beginning with that one again. So we're going to start here. I get the De La Riva hook. Okay, I get my position, everything's fine here. I'm on top of his foot, and the guy's able to rotate this hand behind my hamstring. Once this happens, it's gonna be very hard for me to control him here. So I'm gonna let go of that hand and grab the lapel, use my foot that's on the floor, and I shrimp out here, and I'm gonna go right into the scissor sweep position. So my shin is gonna hook on the back of his knee, my right leg, the back of my right leg is hooking on his knee here. Okay? I'm gonna rest this position here instead of here. If I do this, the guy can kind of take a big step towards my back and just work towards my back here. Good. But if I have this here, he tries to take a step towards my back, I can use this to prevent him moving. Okay? So we're here and here. I'm gonna use my knee and my hand together to dump him this way. Once I get his weight committed, that's when I go for the sweep. I wanna make sure that there's tension here too, because if I keep this too relaxed, when I go for the sweep, he's gonna take that step to base, boom, and then he can back step and take my back. Okay? So I wanna make sure that I have tension here and here. Bang. So I'm dropping him this way. Bang. I sit up, and it's the same thing that we did earlier here, except it's this grip. So I put this fist on the floor and drop here. Okay? It's hard for him to move away from me, hard for him to move towards me. And then now once I get here, I can pull this arm out and just get to regular side body control. So work those two first. Okay, 1, 2, 3. For the sweep. So we're here. We get the same position. We're gonna start the leave right now. I shrimp out. I get my lasso guard, right? And I'm working in this position, and all the while, I still have this hand deep. Okay? So my fist, again, it's a good reference point. If I can keep my fist on my quadricep, it's a pretty good position here. So as I'm trying to shrimp, the guy stands up here, but he can't really stand up properly because I've got this tight. So you can tell that his back from his head to his tailbone is parallel to the floor. Then I can do this next sweep. If his head is up higher than his butt, boom, I'm not gonna be able to do this sweep. So I need to make sure that this is tight and this is tight to make sure that his head is fairly low here. Okay? So on this one, what we're gonna do is, I'm already on top of his foot with my tailbone. My left foot, the top of my left foot, I'm gonna kind of extend and really cup right where his butt crack is, and then arch my toes upwards. So the top of my foot is really cupping all the way up towards his belt. Okay? So I've got this position, I got his head down, and then now what we're gonna do is you're gonna pull your knees up towards your shoulders first, and then, so I pull, and then right when he's here, he's gonna take some baby steps to keep that balance. This is when I'm gonna lift up to get this sweep here. Okay? So for some of you guys that are a little bit more flexible, you can use that momentum and just hit the backwards roll and end up in the mount position. And you're gonna catch a ride with your De La Riva hook once they pass that point of no return, and you can hit that back roll with them. So that's what I'll do on this one. So I'm here, I move, the guy goes in this position, I hook, right? I pull and I lift, and then I'm gonna roll with it. I shoot up, end up in the mount position here. So for the flexible guys that can do that, you know, the first thing is I arch my foot, I pull everything in, and then I lift up. Okay, once my tailbone's off the floor, at this point, this is when I'm gonna rehook my De La Riva and kind of catch a ride with it. Turn your head and just hit that back shoulder roll, and that momentum should be able to carry you over. So we're gonna do the same thing right here. I get the lasso, the guy stands up, bang, I got his posture controlled, and we're here. If you guys have a bad back, or you know, I lost the kind of momentum to catch, I do the same thing. My foot is on his butt crack, not onto the side of his thighs. Okay, so I pull directly and lift. I lost the position here. Okay, from here, what I'm gonna do is this hand, I'm gonna go ahead and tuck it underneath my head like a pillow, and make sure that my head is real heavy. Okay, I don't want to tuck this hand this way, because you're just gonna choke yourself, and then if he grabs your lapel, you're in trouble here, right? And so you did all that to choke yourself. So I go here, like I'm doing, like I'm pulling my elbow towards my hips. Okay, but I'm keeping his hand away from my neck. Head heavy in this position, okay? And when I'm ready, I'm using my right foot as my thruster. I'm gonna hit a big bridge, and I have to clear over his head. So I'm gonna let go of my left hand here, boom, and bridge over his head as I put this on the floor in this position. So if I can get my hand in front of this, kind of his wrist here and on the floor, he won't be able to get the underhook, and I can kind of keep this position for a little bit until I move to the next. One more time. So you guys can either back roll or hit the that kind of side position. So we're here. We go for the same sweep. I put my foot on the, and I shrimp. The guy goes to stand up here. Okay, right in this position, I'm gonna extend my leg and cup his butt crack with the top of my foot and pull everything in. So if I go slow, you'll see him take little baby steps with his right foot. So I pull, he's taking little baby steps, And right at this point, when my tailbone's starting to lift off the floor, this is when I kick. If I don't get to roll, I'm just gonna pull here. Head heavy. Okay? And I'm gonna let go and get ready to bridge off this. If I try to just bridge like this, I'm gonna end up kind of stuck on his head. So I'm gonna bridge and make sure that I have clear over his head with my hips. Step over the top. Okay? So I've got side body position, and this is nice and tight. Can't get the underhook. Okay, so that's that one. If the guy decides to rotate the hand, so this kind of the same thing. Foot on the floor, I shrimp, the guy stands up, I go for this sweep, but then he rotates his hand. Okay, if he rotates his hand, that means he's gonna be able to posture on me, right? Because I no longer have the lasso to control his posture. So before he gets too high here, I need to grab his lapel as deep as I can. If I wait too long and the guy postures all the way up, I'm not gonna be able to grab anything. So you're gonna notice a time where, like, you already lost this, just grab the lapel here. Okay? We're gonna do the same. I shrimp out and immediately establish this position. So cup tight, kick here. Okay, I can no longer keep this here because the guy's gonna be a little bit taller, so I'll go and posture up a little bit higher. So this arm is very easily gonna be over my leg in this position. So and this was what was stopping them from taking my back. We're gonna go for the sweep first, and I'll show you what to do in a second. But here, it's the same thing. Tension here, tension here. I want his knee to get past his foot. I don't want it, if it's behind, it's gonna be hard to sweep. So from this position, I do the same thing. I bring my hammer fist down towards the floor, pull this up, and then that's when I carry over with my leg. So bang, bang, and then now I'm looking to kick. Same lift, and same position to finish. Lift. He goes to stand, step, step. He goes to rotate. Okay, so I'm gonna let go, grab, shrimp, assume that position here, pull, drop him over for the sweep. If the guy goes to try to take the back on this one, okay, some of you guys will have a little bit harder time with this. Bang, bang. He goes to rotate his hand out. I grab again. I shrimp. Right when I get to this position, again, there's nothing stopping him from taking a big step and trying to get towards my back here, right? I'm gonna come back again. So right now his weight distribution is 50-50. As soon as he takes this step, he's gonna get a little bit heavier on this foot. And that's the time where I'm gonna kind of rainbow kick this leg over. So right here, as soon as I feel him step, I lift this leg up to make sure that there's nothing blocking the top of his foot. Okay? This is where I'm gonna kick and just take that big step here. Okay? So I can either control and take the back position, or you can kind of hit some other variations depending on how he falls. Stand. Back. He goes to rotate. Okay? We're gonna go here, step, here. As soon as he takes that back step towards the back, I release this, and I'm gonna start to kick. His legs should be lighter, so I can kick this way and then over here. Okay? If he falls down, I can go for the back position. If he goes and stands up, and we're here, control the front of the shins and go and kick, and you can kind of work your way up here. Or if you're here in this position, you can try to work your X guard. Okay? Boom, grab the belt, pull the guy, work yourself into the leg drag position, kind of work around the side body. Okay, so those are your options if the guy stands up. All right, 1, 2, 3. Here's a shot. There's kind of a bonus sweep in this position. So it's off the original knee series, but we're here. I step out, I get the lasso guard here. Okay, and I've got everything properly aligned like we did earlier. The only thing that I want to do differently is that first one where we rehooked the reverse De La Riva on top of our underneath our other Achilles. We're gonna actually switch. So I'm gonna put my right foot out and my left foot, so reverse De La Riva in. So I'm gonna switch. Boom. Okay. So my right foot's out, my reverse De La Riva is in. I still have the lasso on this side. Okay. So with this foot, now I can still shrimp. So my hips are still active. I'm gonna go ahead and shrimp towards that foot here. So as I shrimp, I'm gonna start to move my knee towards the floor in this position. Okay. So I kind of have to move quick. I don't want to stay here too long. So what I'm going to do in this position is, number one is this hand that I have kind of cutting the slack off. I'm going to lift this almost over my head. Okay. So with with this lifting up and also this leg kicking up. Okay. So together at the same time, you'll get this nice rotation. So we're here. We get the De La Riva hook position and the lasso. Okay. Put this foot on the floor. I shrimp. And then this gives me the opportunity to re-switch. So my right foot comes out, my left foot goes in, and I've got this foot active. So we're gonna keep shrimping, and lift. Here. Okay. In this position, depending on how far you kick, okay, I'm kind of in this position where we did earlier. I can just step over again here. If I don't kick him that far, I'll come back up again, and I just kind of dump him just a little bit, you can just kind of roll into mount position as well. So we're here, I hit that switch, bang, bang, and I just dump him a little bit. Okay, from this position, I can just unhook and climb up. Knee on belly, or mount position. So if you guys need that extra boost and really throw the guy, he's gonna almost end up in the position that we did earlier, where we're using that arm curl to get the side body. If you just dump him sideways just a little bit, you can just continue to knee on belly or mount position. So we're deli Riva, I get the lasso guard, I shrimp out, I reverse everything here. So in this position, I shrimp, dropping my left knee to the floor so that gets his posture over his leg. And I'm gonna throw this leg arm over my head and then kick. Okay? So in this position, I'm almost in where we need to do that step up. Okay? Let's do that shot. 1, 2, 3.